Alright, welcome back to the Super Coach Enough channel. In this video we're going to do our review of week 4 of NFL Fantasy, and in particular the Dream Team on Sportsdeck, which I guess was a much improved week for us with a 627, which was good enough for a top 4% round rank of 121, and has pushed us back up into the top 1,000, up through the 500 into 417. So if we have a look at the team and how it went, won both head-to-heads, that's fantastic. So Josh Allen was our VC, so we didn't get the captaincy shout quite right, but a massive 72 from him. What was a good game for, I guess, Buffalo Bills all round. Jalen Hurts, our captain, 47 is very solid, and we'll absolutely take that. But obviously, we could have also played Richardson and got a 59. So, he's rocketing up in price, averaging 45. He's a, cheapy keeper type option. Excuse me. Probably the best captaincy option, though, this week was Christian McCaffrey with a 90. He went absolutely insane, got 4 touchdowns, about, 170 metres gained. Saquon was another DNP this week. So unfortunately, we missed out on A-Chain's 50 off the bench. Would have been nice. We would have got Ford's 13. So, we probably parked 37 points on the bench just for not paying attention to what's going on around us. Kyron Williams, another massive score with 51. And Bijan, rock solid 32. We'll take that. Our wide receivers, Justin Jefferson, 47. He's super consistent. Lock him in. Tyreek Hill, a bit of a down week, but he's not going to pop off every week, so that's fine. Stephon Diggs, however, did with a 66. Obviously, having the quarterback wide receiver stack has worked well for us there. Obviously, AJ Brown, we could have got a similarly nice stack as well. Chris Olave, so 1 point. That's a one-off thing. I expect him to bounce back this week. Calvin Ridley with a 21, so he's been a bit underwhelming, but he's ticking along. He has dropped a bit of cash, but once Jacksonville sort their offense out, he'll be fine. Gabe Davis with a 27, at bottom dollar cheapie, that's fine. Nakua here continues to kill it, and starting to regret trading him out in my redraft league, but 53 for him. And Sky Moore, a bit of a, I guess, dud pick in terms of the cheapie category with just a 3. Our tight ends, so Travis Kelce, Sam Laporta, solid but not spectacular. We'll have a look at the tight ends that went off this week in a minute. Musgrave, bit of doubt this week with a concussion, only ended up with 1. Moody was outscored by Aubrey this week, so probably a slightly incorrect move there. And the Dallas defense bounced back after their poor game against Arizona with 54. And the Bears are still yet to get positive points for the season, so another 0 from them. Looks like 3 million is the absolute bottom dollar price that anyone can have. So in terms of trades this week, not thinking about doing too much, to be completely honest. We'll just quickly review the game day results. There's a siren going past, so apologies for the background noise. That's quite loud. So if we go back to last week, have a look at smashed it in the public league and got Timmy's caddy by about 60. So unlucky. I believe he had McCaffrey captain, so I think we did pretty well to have that against us, but still get the W. Just looking at the other results, so Austin's Hecklers doing the business against the Bin Chickens, dropping dimes, another win. And Son of Brady with a 620, that's a pretty solid result. So a few people captaining, that's this week, go back. So yeah, another captaincy on McCaffrey. I think that was the play, just looking at the other highish scores. I guess maybe the lower scores, there's an absence of McCaffrey. That probably is costing at the moment. So just a quick look through the matches as well. So David Montgomery continuing to crush it at running back for Detroit, which obviously means Jameer Gibbs isn't scoring well. Um, Glad we did get off him because he's a super slow burn at the moment. Jordan Love continuing to kill it. So if you went with Richardson and Love as a double cheapie at the QB slot, you're scoring well and making lots of money. So well done to you. The Jacksonville defense was the top scorer in their game against Atlanta. Trevor Lawrence, bit of return to form, but not quite where you'd want him to be as a elite quarterback option. So we covered the top three players from the Buffalo Miami game. Nothing else really to report there, I don't think. Jefferson and the Vikings defense top scoring. The Panthers defense top scoring for them. So probably doesn't say too much about their attack at the moment. So the Broncos. So Justin Fields a nice score, but Denver did let 70 in the week before, so their defense is questionable at best. Baltimore, Cleveland, Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews doing the business. Nice. Houston, so CJ Stroud is killing it. As a bit of a pod option to Richardson and Love. Stroud's doing well. Nico Collins, he's probably one that's got away from us. Now 11.45 mil and is looking the goods. What's happened here? It's gone to week 5. Bit of a error there. Just quickly, Pittsburgh, I don't think there was anything to write home about. The Rams, so we covered the three big hitters in our side, so that's a win. Baker Mayfield, top scorer for Tampa against the Saints. Kamara, doing the business with 29 points on his first game back. Could be an interesting pod. AJ Brown, as we said, 68 points. Having that stack would be really nice. Sam Howell, a nice return from him, 39. And they are up against the Chicago defense this week, so he could go massive. Tennessee, Cincinnati. So Derrick Henry had a big game for Tennessee. The Bengals just struggling all around at the moment. I did make a bit of a trade where I've brought Joe Burrow in my redraft league, hoping he bounces back. But it did cost me Josh Allen. I did get Austin Eckler as well, I should add, so it's not all bad, but it's a bit of a long term play. Hopefully it comes off. Justin Herbert doing well. Josh Jacobs, his first sort of big game for the season. So hopefully this is a return to form for him. Dallas, so the defense carving up against New England. Nothing to talk about there for New England. San Fran, we've obviously covered McCaffrey. Purdy's been doing pretty well. Josh Dobbs, surprisingly good for Arizona. And Michael Wilson, he's probably another little cheapie that's got away from us a bit. 6 million might be worth an investment, but probably, I guess, not really. We'd probably look for a bottom dollar option if we could. Uh, the Chiefs and Jets, Pacheco top scoring. Interesting. Zach Wilson had an alright day against Kansas defense, is pretty good. And Seattle, so the defense was, I guess, killing it against the Giants. Um, did most of the scoring too in terms of their 24 points. So, yeah, you can see a couple of great options in defence at the moment. So, based off all of that, like I said, I'm probably not going to do too much with the team. I mean, if we look at the options at the moment, go by probably 3 round average, like Montgomery's probably still underpriced a bit at 11.8 if you are looking for a cheap keeper type option. Um, Zach Moss has been okay, but Jonathan Taylor should be back soon. Um, yeah, just looking through. So you can see Jerome Ford, even though he hasn't really been setting the world on fire the last couple of weeks, He still made us 4.6 million, so it's been a good get. But I guess this is the time where teams are starting to settle. We're just really looking at buys is one thing we need to consider, but also any potential sort of injuries that come up. We can then look to make some moves and get some value that way. We'll just put Saquon back. Just take Davis out. So Nico Collins, still fairly well priced, but has moved up 3.7 mil. AJ Brown, so his price is back to where he sort of started from. So if you can afford to get him in, it might be an interesting one to look at this week. I don't know if there's a downgrade option that would sort of facilitate me being able to bring him in. Maybe, through a Larve, we might try to make a few million somewhere else. Perhaps. Tank Dell had a bit of a quiet game, so we can have a look at him next week, maybe, and see if, his price will dip back a bit and we can get on because he looks good, particularly with Stroud feeding him targets. Michael Wilson, is probably the cheap option that we want to go after in that position. But yeah, other than that, nothing really stands out. Tight end, like again, I think we've got the best two options here in terms of upside. I'll just get rid of Musgrave, I suppose. I guess Mark Andrews with his game last week is a good option. He's traditionally the second tight end after Kelsey, so if you can afford to, you can go big at tight end and set and forget. Have Laporta rotate through. But I think Musgrave's going to get enough targets and the points will come and the cash will come with it throughout the season. So I'm not panic trading on him. The kickers, these guys have made a lot of money already, so you could start to look at someone like a Jake Elliott. Matt Gay was a bit flat this week. So but again, we don't really need to be wasting trades in this position, I don't think. And the defense, obviously, there's been some big scoring defenses this week. Seattle, Jacksonville was pretty good. Baltimore and the Vikings. So, you can probably take your pick. Seahawks are on the bye this week, so you can wait a week if you want to get them in and get the price rise. Um, Jacksonville against the Bills, probably not. Baltimore against Pittsburgh, perhaps would be a good matchup. The Vikings against Kansas City, I wouldn't. So, out of these teams that scored well, maybe the Ravens are the ones to get on. But yeah, as I said, it's probably a week where we can hold trades. We've got 18, still got about 14 weeks to go, so plenty of time. Um, we'll hold steady and see how things go. We may look for an option to get out of Sky Moore, ideally, or just hopefully wait till he has that game where he pops off and lifts in value. Cooper Cup may be back, so it'll be interesting to see Nakua's output with him back. You know, um, yeah. So I think it's just hold steady for the time being. So the early game, Washington, Chicago, we don't really have anyone to worry about there for VC. So you could go Allen against Jacksonville if you're up late enough to watch the game over in England. But yeah, you can get up and have a look before Hertz plays at 6 a.m. as well on Monday morning against the Rams. But I reckon we might just do that, lock him in. Barkley, when does he play? So he plays Monday 3 a.m. against Miami, so we might just keep him safe. Wait till Sunday night. That's probably when I'll get the late mail on whether he's playing or not. But yeah, we'll play A Chain over Ford. Well, actually, we probably don't need to because Ford being on the bye means we would get A Chain as the emergency anyway. So we'll do that. And might go over Nakua over Ridley, I think. Although against Philly, their defense is pretty good. So we'll see. at the moment, we'll leave it at that and we'll go from there. Might even be a Larve that misses out if Derek Carr is missing time. Other than that, the kickers, well, they're playing against each other, so it's just who do we think is going to win that game? Maybe San Fran, or maybe we go hard into Dallas, given we want their defense to do well. So I guess, yeah, against the Dallas defense, we probably won't back McCaffrey in as a captaincy option. Could understand if he did. Minnesota against Kansas, so maybe Jefferson isn't in the conversation either. We'll stick with Allen and Hurts, the tried and true combo. But yeah, we'll wrap the video up there. So as always, if you've got any comments, thoughts, questions, feel free to put them in the comment section below this video. If you're enjoying the NFL fantasy content, remember to like the videos, subscribe to the channel for all the other fantasy content. There's basketball, EPL, and obviously NFL. And other than that, I'll catch you in the next one.